welcome back to Build Magic. Today we're going to look at something unusual. This is a 1 in a million type home that's a very organic design and type of home that you won't see very often. And from a builder standpoint, a very challenging but rewarding build for whoever was involved. Probably took many, many years to complete, and you won't see too many like this, not in this day and age. They're just too expensive and people are not nearly as flexible, and tastes have changed. This is a home in the Mojave Desert. This one is kind of near my house. You can see just from these early images that this is a very different type of home. This home is mostly on-site formed, cast in place type concrete. The general structure of it sits on a very high site. There's a lot of stone. The home is a series of ribs, for lack of a better term, and these ribs come up out of the foundation and then cross. They don't join like an arch from one side to the other. That makes up the structure of the building, and then they filled in between these ribs with glass panels. Here you can see it from the sky. It's a large series of concrete panels that create the actual roof of the home. In the back corner there, you can see a glass series of panels, and that makes up bedroom areas. Very unique site. The access is a little weird and a little roundabout, and I'm sure that getting materials and labor and getting things done, it's not a direct drive right up to it. You can't bring a crane in. Very challenging site. Here we are on the outside. You can see kind of a patio area, and then the ribs that I had mentioned that cross over to create the actual structure of the home. They used a lot of natural colors. They're using desert colors and beiges and browns and reds and things that kind of blend well. This probably went through hundreds of different shop drawings as they talked about different shape, kind of decided what we're doing in a specific space or with a specific form, do multiple iterations until they came up with a cool design that they liked and they thought was kind of the finished idea. And I think they probably did that throughout the entire project, all the way down to furniture. Here we are in a kitchen space, very organic. Was probably a little challenging to get rectangular or square appliances into this high amount of curvature. You can see here as we go in. Here we are in a dining area. This area has included some of the rocks that were on site. You can see them in the back, large boulders, which is really cool. They brought some of the outdoor elements in. The whole project just feels like a part of the mountain, and they've used a lot of the natural materials. You can see the cut stone on the cladding, also probably just local stone that they've hand cut. The floor as well. Here we are in a bedroom. This room is just absolutely amazing. This is all hand formed steel trusses overhead. Everything in the house seems to have kind of a vertebrae vibe going on. Repetition of patterns that you would see in like the vertebrae of a mammal or something. Every single thing in the room is handmade. You can see the bed is handmade, even the mattress and the mattress cover, one of a kind. Just really amazing and very, very unusual. Okay, here we are in what looks like kind of a study slash storage area, and you could see that there is just an unimaginable amount of fabrication in this room. From the formed concrete with the textures to the beautiful exotic hardwoods that make up the cabinetry with the carvings in it. There's a lot of fossils, organic shapes included in the furniture. Just an amazing amount of handwork. The back on the chair, I'm not sure how comfortable that was. A very cool organic chair that seems to go with the whole theme. Here's another bedroom. This one is just amazing. You've got a bed in the center of the room with this archway series overhead with light bleeding through, or starlight bleeding through between these giant arches. All handmade headboard, cabinetry, just really, really warm and probably very interesting to stay in and spend time in. The Mojave Desert is a very harsh environment. You've got a lot of heat for, I'm going to say, 6 months out of the year. You've got above 80 degrees, and at the peak of summer you're somewhere in the neighborhood of 105 to 110 sometimes. You've got the high winds all throughout the year. You got winds that'll come once or twice a week and they reach storm level. You've got an occasional flood rain, which is only like 2-3 times a year. And then you've got extreme cold in the winter, where everything's cold and dry. So this type of environment, very harsh, very hard to work in from a builder standpoint, hard to predict, and also engineering and materials, use of materials, you got to think about. Things are drying very fast, like hardwoods. Can't have anything out in the sun during fabrication. Basically zero humidity for many parts of the year. And that fast drying also affects your concrete pours and all kinds of finishes. Paint drying, plasters, anything like that, drying at a very high rate. So those are challenges that you're going to see in this type of build. Here we can see some details in the furniture. Must have taken hundreds of hours on each item just to get the shapes right. This is a really interesting space here. On the left there, you can see kind of a door build, very organic, very difficult. Glass, metal, concrete, all coming together. Here's a shot looking down from the upstairs, looking out over kind of a veranda or a balcony that's on the interior. And you can see some custom-made lighting, some cantilevered glass tables that are kind of in a dinosaur tail, skeleton type shape. And if you look close, you can see these tables don't touch the floor. These are cantilevered out of the ends of the room. Here's a living area, really nice. Beautiful space, a lot of natural light, beautiful table down in front, all custom made, really nice piece, built-in furniture. You can see the arches, the formed concrete arches there with the windows in between. The views out of this house, everyone is unique and different. Just a great little space. Here we are in an outdoor space. This is kind of a bar. These chairs are amazing. The bar itself is kind of cool. Really nice space, especially in the evening for stargazing and stuff and just hanging out with friends. This lighting piece that basically illuminates the entire space, this is actually the balcony upstairs. And you look down over this, and then it's got these ribs that are all individually shaped. The pattern making for this must have been so difficult. You know, you're making templates, and you're taking the templates down and you're going to your shop area, and then you're creating, and then you're fitting it, and then you're making adjustments and fitting it again. And this is just a giant lighting piece slash balcony, which is really unusual and must have taken, I can't imagine how many months to shape this and get it working properly. Here's a fireplace. This is really a nice piece. Fireplace, like a copper hand-formed shroud coming down over the fireplace and built into the stone or boulders there, just fitting right in between there and the stairway. You can see that cladding on the right that kind of comes from the stairs right up into the fireplace, and then of course the big formed head on this thing with some lighting up underneath it. Just a whole lot going on here. This must have taken forever. Here we see the TV, what appears to be a TV, maybe colored the frame on it. TVs are always a challenge to fit into any home because they don't really, as a piece of furniture or a feature, they don't really fit well. So a lot of people will hide them behind art or behind a screen, and then they can appear at some point. Some of them are automated. They'll come up out of the floor, out of the ceiling. Televisions are always a pain in the butt to include in the theme of the room because it's just a giant black rectangle and they don't really go. If you have a really white space or a specific color theme in a certain room, you don't want this giant black rectangles thrown on the wall. And you can see here, this may have been designated as the TV zone, but I'm just thinking that eventually they didn't know exactly where to put it, and then it kind of fell here. Nice little detail in front of the fireplace there where they included some darker stones. That's a really cool little touch. Here's a bathtub, and this is just amazing. So these are local river rocks that were hand placed, obviously, one by one to get the mosaic to work. It actually looks quite comfortable. They're all rounded. There's some plantings and there's the controls and everything. Just really an amazing little space. There again, you can see where they took the brownstones up the wall there and kind of let them fade out into the concrete. This vanity here, this is next level. This is all hand formed. Looks like a bronze or a brass kind of a casting with a mirror in between and your vanity lights. Really one of a kind. Looks a little space age. Just absolutely amazing piece. Here's another bedroom. This is just zooming in over the bed. Just a magnificent space. The view out of here is next level. Very organic. It's got to be a great experience to spend time in here. There, look at that chair right out at the end there where you can grab a book, sit out at the end of the room. Here we can see the dresser, all handmade. Here we've got a view of it illuminated in the evening. You can see everything changes. Shapes become darker and there's a lot of shadowing and it just gets very dramatic. Here we're coming into another bedroom. This bedroom's amazing. I love the colors, textures in this room. It's got kind of a cathedral vibe. Look at this headboard. One of a kind. Real nice touch of color there in the room. Just magnificent. I'm not sure what kind of stone that is, but you can see it's all hand formed, hand polished. Oh, here's another bathroom space. Just an amazing medicine cabinet, bowl sink, all hand formed. Looks like a marble or some kind of stone. Just absolutely magnificent. This one's not far from my home and I've been there a couple times, and this is an exceptional build. Awesome build. I'm sure it had an unlimited budget because there'd be no way to budget this properly. The architect, engineers, the homeowners, everybody had to have a certain amount of flexibility and a real love of the project and had a specific vision in it, and it probably took many years to accomplish that vision. In a build like this, you've got to have a certain amount of patience and understanding, and there has to be a lot of cohesion in the group. Build Magic score on this one, I'm gonna say from a design standpoint, just off the charts, 10 out of 10. From a livability standpoint, maybe a little unusual, some of the spaces, and there's a lot of curvature and a lot of organic shapes in there. So that's our video for the day. Thanks for joining in, and hope to see you on the next one.